Hey everyone, right here we have evidence water crosses here during heavy rain, and it comes out of this side here. Now you can tell this goes underwater when it rains. This whole valley floods. Now we're gonna go take a look at the culvert and see what's happening. Now you look here in the mud, got some big moose prints here. Got some deer prints. See the difference? A little tiny deer, and got a moose that's the size of a horse. All right, walking up the road where they have the culvert already flagged because there's some kind of issue with it. That's what the tape is. There's a good amount of flow down there. It's got to be unclogged if it's not going, or maybe it's a clog that only causes a problem when there's rain. I'm gonna bet you it's a failing culvert, or at least the embankment failed, because you got a sinkhole right here. I think the sinkhole is actually what they're marking, not the culvert. But the culvert has got to have a clog too. All right, we gotta find a way down. All right, you see what's on my feet. I only have these slippers on because my boots are in the vehicle drying. All right. Oh, looks like we have a different one. Looks like it might be a square culvert. Oh, there's so much stuff in the way. Got a tree down. Actually, a really good tree. I'm gonna walk across it because I don't have boots on. This tree's gonna hold my weight, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Balancing on the tree. What do we got for a culvert? Okay, there's nothing, absolutely nothing's gonna be wrong with these. Take a look at these iron culverts. Those are the best ones you can get for your money. Look at that, 2 inches thick, the steel on those. And now those are actually, look like they're meant to be culverts. I don't think they're from boilers or anything, because you see there's no holes or imperfections in there. You can see where they're perfectly sliced. Now what the issue is here, they need a buffer in the center of the culvert, because when this is flooding, you have so much water slamming into that crack. And see the dirt coming out? That's why it's creating a sinkhole up top. They just got to plug some rocks in there, or maybe even concrete it. It's a really simple thing. You could probably do it in a few hours by hand if you had buckets of concrete you could mix up and some rocks. But the bottom part would have to be dug out a little bit, because you want that to go below the surface so nothing else can happen. You don't want the water just go under it next time. Okay, so there's no problem here. And now, as far as it going over the street, I don't know. I see evidence that it was going over the street, but it doesn't look like there's any type of clog here. And I don't see evidence that there was a clog here. I think maybe it just went over capacity in the spring and crossed the road. But now the mud is still there because the divot from when it crossed, there's like a big pothole. The low spot is still there, and it collects water when it rains. And everyone driving through it is throwing the water, which is mixed with sand and gravel, making the hole bigger and bigger. That's exactly what it is. I think those went over capacity in the spring. I don't see any evidence of a clog. Could have been. Don't think so, though. And now that we walk down the street, the water from that hill is ending up here. But I can see clear evidence that it was coming out of here at some point and going back over. And that's usually how they build these roads. They put the culvert up the hill a little bit as a fail-safe. So if it does, for whatever reason, get clogged, it'll wash the road out instead of the culvert, which is a lot easier to fix. Look at this jumping spider. Found something tasty to eat. Hey everyone, we're here today checking out an abandoned train bridge. Happened to cross this by accident. Check it out. These have been sitting here rotting for a while. Just went underneath. The bridge looks perfectly sound. Just needs new ties if they were to reopen. This is incredible. Look how high up we are. What a nice trail. Let's go for a little walk. Only a 5-minute walk ahead, and we come across another trestle. But this one is in much better condition because of how it's built. The other one has ballast and a whole bunch of areas where plants can grow, but not this one. Look at this branch just sagging down on it. This is so cool. Look at this bridge. This thing's in great condition. That's awesome condition. I wouldn't say the same about this platform. Probably stable, but also pretty rotten. Reeks of creosote. That's what's saving this thing. And we're going back into the forest. It's really hot out today. Feels nice. $19.41. Definitely a cool railway to explore. We're checking this out today in Lebanon, New Hampshire. What do you guys think? It's some kind of round structure completely filled in. Maybe a foundation for a signal. Okay, I was just so happy to grab these blueberries, and I just ate a whole bunch of them, and I regret it. See these little holes? I squeezed one of them, and look what came out of one of the holes. That. What the heck is that? I probably ate a few of them. Ew. And while we're in the area, we're gonna take a look at the Maplewood train station. Look, it's completely grown in again. They trimmed this road to bring some heavy equipment in because they stabilized the building back in the spring. And here's their website on this sign right here, because they plan on rebuilding that. Like, everyone who lives in surrounding towns got flyers asking for donations because they want to rebuild it. But honestly, it's not going to be the same building anymore. This thing has so many structural problems. It's basically going to be more of a replica using some of the original parts. It'll never be the same again. Maybe they can save some of that window trim. The siding is still good. Other than that, nothing else to really save. It's been leaning like that for 50 years. Putting this up just ensures it doesn't fall over. It had a lot of snow on it last year. It's kind of dangerous how they cut the trees, huh? If you fall over on these big spikes. Look at that. Why'd they cut them like that? They should have cut them all the way down. Get a closer look. I got older videos of this place if anyone's interested. We got looks even up into the 3rd floor. Went up on the stairs. It's stable, that little hallway area. Stuck the tripod all the way upstairs. This building was heated by 3 wood stoves, 1 downstairs, 2 upstairs. You could rent the rooms upstairs to stay the night. And you see, this is what happens when people learn about places. This thing didn't have any graffiti a few years back. People just come in and do this stuff. That's why I don't give locations of certain buildings. Can't really hide this place. You look up abandoned buildings in New England. It's one of the first pictures. This is kind of cool. You see how the plaster is all still stable on this wall because it moved perfectly, but all these walls, because they shifted, look at it all broken, fall off. Awesome. Probably a telegraph machine right here, because if you look in through one of the ticket windows, look at this, all the telegraph wires in here. Yeah, if they decide to rebuild this somewhere else like they plan, it's not going to be the same building. It's going to have to comply with new codes. At the very least, they would be shoring up what's already in here. Because this siding, that's cedar siding. This can all be fixed. See, still got some of the paint chipping off from years ago. Really nice. And you see, the building was put on rocks. That other side was in the mud and it sunk. That's why it's crooked. And you see this stuff here? Years ago when this was open, before it all got crushed, this was, you know, covering up the crawl space to keep critters from walking around and to keep cold drafts out so it's easier to heat. So look at this lumber. That's some rough decking. And it's still around. A ton of preservatives were used in it. The chimney right there was standing like 6 feet tall from the roof line when we first checked it out like 3 years back. It fell over in the process, smashing a hole through the roof. Look at this. Would have been some serious locks on these windows. So you got the pulleys, and there'd be a big counterweight. Yep, they've been stolen, definitely. Got the nice stairs going up. Look at that chimney now. That is so dangerous. You know how much a chimney weighs? No way that thing has the structural strength to hold itself being that crooked. The building's doing the work. All that lath board is what gives an old building a structural strength. If this was something from today, with garbage particle board and plywood as a sheathing, new buildings don't have any of that structural strength of lath board. Sheetrock wouldn't hold this building up. It would be on its side. Gone. That's always my favorite shot. Shows you how crooked it really is. Because you see the difference from here, how it's all crooked, to here, which is just leaning. You see there's that break in the building. Right here we have an abandoned supermarket. Back door's open. Hoping for no hobos. Hello? One big old water heater. I don't think we can get in the store. It's just a maintenance room. See a shopping cart. Vandalism. Look at all that broken glass. There's a lot of cool things in here. Look at that big fan blade. No, sadly, it doesn't go to the rest of the store. Look at that, somebody had quite some fun. See, it looks like did they blow that right outside? Yep, that's empty. Yeah, no way into the building here. Too bad. They gotta lock this up.